Down to Senator Merkley, and I'll ask my questions a little bit later in the hearing. Senator
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I wanted to start, Mr. Cooper, related to your experience with low-carbon fuel standards, and particularly the Oregon Clean Fuels Program. As you look at Oregon's program, has it been a success?
Yes, we think the Oregon program has been very successful.
Any particular insights or lessons we should take to mind as other states consider similar?
Yeah, when we think about a low-carbon fuel standard done right, we typically point to Oregon because we think the life cycle analysis and modeling and methodology that they used for their program is more transparent, is more technology neutral than what California is doing even. So yeah, we think the Oregon program has been a great example and model for the rest of the country to follow.
Yeah, thank you. And Mr. Graff, I want to turn to hydrogen and specifically that is made from fossil gas with carbon capture. The industry uses the term blue carbon or blue hydrogen, as you're familiar with. The first peer-reviewed study in 2021 found that using blue hydrogen, that is fossil hydrogen with carbon capture, was 20% more damaging in terms of greenhouse gas footprint than using fossil gas or coal directly for heating buildings, and that it was 60% worse than using diesel directly for heating buildings. Now, we have a lot of buildings heated by fossil gas and a lot that are heated by diesel. So do you agree with the studies that have shown that using fossil gas, even with carbon capture, and by the way, the assumption in this was 100% carbon capture, no leakage from a geological formation, doesn't make sense when it comes to trying to tackle greenhouse gas?
Senator, thank you for the question. I'm not familiar with that exact study, and we can certainly take a look at that and spend more time with you and your staff to talk about it. But what I know is this. We have looked at the emissions reductions and the benefits of utilizing hydrogen. For example, it could be in the state of West Virginia, it could be on the Gulf Coast, to go ahead and produce large quantities, what I would call low-carbon hydrogen. Sometimes people get confused with the various colors, and I just like to call it what it is, low-carbon hydrogen. And we are able to capture that. We are able to capture that CO2 in those geographies. And with large-scale production, like with autothermal reformers, technology that we have, we can decarbonize entire energy-intensive industrial sites. Now, if you're going to produce hydrogen only with the need, for example, to burn it in a home, then you can certainly do this same thing in order to achieve that. However, when you are located with the local infrastructure, we can drive this in a very significant way for the industries that use it. And by the way, if you utilize hydrogen in a fuel cell, it's a very, very different dynamic than a combustion engine. And so the benefits of that are very clear.
Mr. Chairman, the point I'm wanting to drive here is we often talk about with electric cars, it matters how the electricity is made. And the parallel is that it makes a big difference how the hydrogen is made. And the industry has given it the name, it sounds very nice, blue hydrogen. It sounds like the best of the best. But in fact, it's made from fossil gas, and it is, and this is the best version where carbon capture is complete. And even in that case, it is more damaging to the climate than is burning fossil gas directly for heating homes, or than using diesel for heating homes by a 60% factor. And that's assuming that every bit of carbon capture is perfect, which is rarely the case, that you can capture all the carbon out of the emissions and that you can store it for eternity underground with perfect security. So I think it's very important. The hydrogen conversation is going to be very relevant as we go forward. And when it's made from electrolysis, that is from renewable electricity being used to make it, it has a profoundly different footprint than when it's made from fracked methane gas. And so I want to make sure as we talk about hydrogen that we realize that there are many different forms that have very different life cycle footprints, and that if we go down a route that actually makes things worse in terms of substituting hydrogen for heating buildings that is made from fossil gas, and then if you say that there's no carbon capture, then it's even worse than that. So this is the best case for fossil gas using, and this is also true in terms of the production of electricity. There is much better case to be made that hydrogen for high temperature applications in industry, making that hydrogen from a clean system, making it from renewable electricity, then you have a really important application because you have hydrogen that works in settings where electricity doesn't work directly, but it's made from renewable electricity to begin with. So I just want to caution that not all hydrogen is the same, and not all hydrogen hubs would be the same. Hydrogen hubs that promote essentially making hydrogen from fossil gas have a very different footprint than those hubs that would be depending upon a clean hydrogen. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Thanks for that, that cautionary note. Happy to have